I am ready.
Absolutely. All right, link that's 79. Remove.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. Everybody, are we getting one? All righty, we are live here. Thank you so much. I am live here. Yes, SableAssent. We have a very, very, very special guest. Everybody, come on and get in here. Get ready. We're here. We're grateful that you came back. Thank you so much. The SableAssent Tech Tour Podcast. We are here getting back organized. Mr. AJ, how are you doing today?
I always say every day, every chance I get to wake up, I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about my brother here. He is the senior mobile consultant for Max Mobile Pro, two-time Grammy Award nominee, graduate of Eastman School of Music, host of Max Mobile Celebrity Radio Network, and host of the SableAssent Global Radio Network. We want to give a warm welcome to Mr. Alfred AJ Fields. Yay! Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So let's jump right into it. So
how's everybody?
We have to hear what he has to say. Graduate of Eastman School of Music, host of Max Mobile Celebrity Radio Network. Make sure you check it out. All right, there he is. He's back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we had a bad storm up here just a little while ago, so we're having some problems up here with power outages and Wi-Fi.
Really? Where are we?
I can hear you.
Where are we today, boss? Where are we today?
In Tampa.
Florida.
Tampa, Florida.
Wow. Thank you so much for being dedicated and willing to teach us something today. I want to jump right into it. I see Max Mobile Pro like everywhere. So I want to know a little bit more about it. He has a huge storm in Tampa, so we're like chiming on and off, ladies and gentlemen. So please forgive us, but we have a lot to learn and cover. He said it's a storm in Tampa, Florida. I'm here in Miami, Florida, live today. Last week, I was live in Detroit, Michigan. I'm always popping in from different places. All of our viewers and listeners and guests are from different places. All right, Max Mobile Pro, tell us about it. Tell us about it. What's up with the app?
Max Mobile Pro was started back in 2015, and we went in with the idea that I wanted to create a niche market. And coming from the entertainment arena, we decided to develop apps for celebrity artists. And so we started a podcast, and we also developed apps for we started off with a lot of old school artists. That's really kind of our specialty, being that I am old school. And so that's what we've been doing since 2015, and now we're actually getting ready to expand because what's happening with the pandemic and all, a lot of the artists now are not able to tour, and so as of today, we're actually going to be signing with an events company that's going to allow artists, comedians, motivational speakers to be able to stream live and also be able to sell tickets directly from the app. So we're pretty happy about that.
Awesome. Had to get rid of that banner there. Okay, cool. So I get it. Now let us know about your celebrity radio network and your hosting history. So how did you go from, being in the music industry and learning about music to becoming like top radio celebrity host and doing all the great things that you did, like your radio shows? Like, how does that work out? When can we hear about them?
I'm sorry. We definitely have some very difficulties here. Just bad connection.
It's good. It's good. It's Tampa. It's Florida. Is it still hurricane season? I thought we made it through. Did you hear my question? I was asking to let us know about the celebrity radio network and how you got into it.
Actually, I started a couple of years ago with my co-host from London, Miss Donna B. And we started interviewing a lot of my colleagues, a lot of personal friends like LB from Cameo, I'm sorry, Larry Blackman, Michael Cooper from Confunction, Karen White. And so that's how we started, and it's been pretty successful. We've been pretty excited about it.
That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, with all of the list of everything that I listed about you, you have done so much. You are continuing to do so much. I just want to pick your brain a little bit. Like, our viewers here want to learn how to be more successful, more peaceful. So with all of your accomplishments, I never saw you like tired. Like, it's like you're always full of energy. It's like you're always ready for the next meeting, ready for the next show. Can you give us a few pointers on how we can boost our energy to keep going? And out here, especially in the pandemic and life, give us a couple of pointers of what you may do to keep boosting our energy.
Marlena, that's a very, very good question. And that's a very important question. It actually starts with the diet. It started with my diet. And I'm actually a vegetarian. And so let me be very technical. I'm a pescatarian because I do eat some fish. So I'm a pescatarian. So I don't eat any red. Yeah, I don't eat any red meat whatsoever.
Okay, no red meat, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yeah, none at all. And that started several years ago, probably over 20 years, about 20 years ago. And so I started noticing a difference as far as my metabolism. I started noticing that I had a lot more energy. And honestly, too, when I was touring over in Japan, I was learning. I talked to a couple of scientists, and we were speaking about our blood types. And so we were talking about our diets are supposed to be based on what our blood type is. And when I started thinking about that, I said, that makes a lot of sense, and I started really thinking about the logic behind it. And so, and being that I'm an A blood type, A positive blood type. And when I did the research on it, my blood type actually is for vegetarians. And the reason why it's A blood type actually comes from Asia. So,
okay. Makes sense.
Right, it comes from Asia. And so when I started looking more into it, and this was over 20 years ago, it made a lot of sense because our blood type, being that O is the original, that's why they call it type O. And these are the original people, actually our ancestors from Africa. And so as they were transitioning into other lands, and Asia used to be right next door to Africa. And so that's why the Asian culture has a very old culture as well as Africa, because it used to be right next door, before, the earth expanded. But anyway, to go back to answer your question, after my touring days, I minimized my drug use, and I did party. But you know what? I started at the young age of 17. I started playing professionally at 17 years old. And my first tour was an international tour. And so we were introduced. The funny thing about that, I got to say this, Marlena. The funny thing about this is we were under CBS Records, under the Epic label. And CBS Records, our manager was Mariah Carey's ex-husband.
Whoa.
And so one thing about CBS, they really looked after us. So they didn't want us going out in the streets getting drugs and things like that. So we were very restricted. And so I had a very good understanding. The gentleman that I ended up taking his place, the original bass player for Wild Cherry, his name was Alan Went. Alan had a drug problem, and it caught up to him. So he was missing dates, missing practices. When I
Wasn't on
came
point.
in,
Wasn't on
uh,
point.
yes, that has a lot to do with it. And so, to answer your question, a lot of it has to do with taking care of yourself.
Yes.
So I just turned 61 in May, and I
You
still have
look
the
great.
energy of a 40-year-old.
You sure do. I mean, you keep it moving and you get so many things accomplished. Next thing you know, you're coming out with an app, a show, you're consulting, you're teaching marketing, teaching branding, and keeping going. So, ladies and gentlemen, you hear that. We can't be doing drugs. Let's watch our diet. Let's eat better. You don't have to be fully pescatarian, but like you said, you don't have to eat red meat every single day, and it will help to give an increase in energy. We're talking to someone that's very successful and that has been around for a long time. I mean, 61 years old, we want to listen. Now, let's talk about like the music industry, like from when you started and now, like how has technology helped to improve the music industry to you? Like with blockchain coming out, with the, if we can even talk about like the sounds, making the beats, anything like that. Like, how do you think that music has evolved? Did you all have to use your own instruments back then? Like, what's different, that you could compare a couple of examples for us now?
Well, Marlena, the entertainment industry has done a complete 360. It's really advanced. When I started out, we were still using analog as far as recording. I went to the Eastman School of Music, so I'm an actual engineer too. So I'm a musician / engineer.
Got it.
So with that background, I was able to sit in and work with a lot of the mixes and things like that. And so the technology has changed a lot. We were just getting into, around the 80s, we were just getting into the digital technology, but we were a live band. And to this day, I still like to see people play real instruments instead of just pushing a button and having a bunch of sounds come out. Sampling just started back in probably late 79, 78, 79, right at the beginning, around 80, when sampling started coming around. And so now today, these young musicians today, that's all they know is sampling.
Now, when we
And
say
so
sampling, let's tell the viewers, like, what is sampling? Like, you mean like using someone else's music or someone else's beats, right? I mean, I'm not an expert in it. What is sampling? Like, sampling?
Yeah, sampling is basically, yeah, a good example. I'm going to use a pure example. James Brown, to this day, is the most sampled artist of anyone. James Brown, because of his style, he always had a lot of sounds, and he was very, very mobile, and the way he was almost like a fanatic preacher when he performed.
He was.
And so being sampled is taking somebody's sound back in the day and putting it in a computer and then creating a library of multiple sounds that were taken from other artists. And that's what they call sampling.
Got it.
So today, the children today, that's why when you look at school buses, you don't see kids really carrying instruments anymore. Everything is done through these machines. They're computerized. And don't get me wrong. It's all about creativity at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And so there are some artists out here, I kind of really like the producers, like back in the late 80s and the early 90s when you got Jay-Z. These were people that actually knew how to use the old school sounds of the 70s and 80s, and then they took that and then put their spin on it.
Their own.
And then I look at, right, they put their own spin on it by putting their own sound. I'll give you another good example. Someone who have used James Brown and done very well. He's a Latin artist, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. Oh,
Bruno Mars. Yes. Bruno Mars is a very intelligent artist. And what he did was he grew up in New York City, and his parents were, had surrounded him with a lot of old school music. And if you listen to Bruno Mars today, you can hear James Brown from him. And so he was able to take a lot of the sounds from back in the day and then put his Latino spin on it.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to become very, so successful, with him. So it's all about your creativity at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, I'm a fan. I grew up on the old school as well. I loved the bands. I still do. I still love going to a nice jazz club. I still love listening to old school, even though even the ones that was during my time and before my time, I totally love it. But like you said, when somebody is innovative and put their own spin on it, we can work with it. But it's just everybody's just like sampling music, and I know it gets a bit frustrating because we have so many people like yourself that put in the work and put in so much to just gain the respect. So that's awesome. Now we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, because I know that you're in training about AI. And I know that I am so intrigued with AI, and I just want to know, like, what's a couple of things that they may mention in the class that we can look forward to, like being around. I know it's about to be a huge change, with everything happening, and you can't touch each other, or you want contactless payments and things like that. Like, have you been learning anything interesting in the AI training, because you're in training for artificial intelligence?
I'm actually learning a lot, and a lot of it's going to have to do with the technology for SableAssent as well.
Yes.
What's happening, especially with the blockchain technology, basically, to keep it simple for everyone, artificial intelligence is programs that allow algorithms to think for themselves based on the data and the criteria that you input. That data it'll think, and it'll actually, based on the information that you put in, it'll calculate information at a much faster speed than a human brain. And so artificial intelligence is going to have a lot to do with our language, our processing, the way we think. It's also going to basically almost emulate. That's really the best way to explain it. It's going to emulate human behavior, but it's going to do it at such a rate, at a much faster rate, that it'll be able to handle different programs simultaneously.
I love
So with the artificial intelligence, we're going to learn how to develop apps. And for example, we're going to develop artificial apps, and we're going to actually start launching this
that.
mid-August.
Okay.
So it's right around the corner.
Okay.
And so what's going to happen is we're going to be able to develop an app where people can actually log into it, and the app will literally do its own analytics. So based on the information that you send it, like, for example, if you wanted to have an artist that wanted to do a live show, well, that app is going to determine exactly the location. It's going to determine the analytics of where they're located, based on the amount of people that are going to feed into the app as far as a live stream, like what we're doing right now. It's basically going to automatically tell you exactly how many people that you're viewing. It's going to tell you exactly where they're coming from, the time of day, all across the world. And so that's very good information to be able to work with, so that can help you in regards to your marketing. Yeah. So, for example, if you're doing a particular song, and let's say that song is doing very well in New York, but not as well as in let's say South Carolina or California. Well, that algorithm, that information is going to determine exactly. It's going to give you feedback on telling you what you need to do to be able to raise the interest of those parties that in North Carolina. And it's also what's going to happen, it's going to automatically give some feedback and say, how do you like this? What is it that you like about this without you having to do this?
Okay.
The app would do it itself. So with SableAssent is one thing I like about this company, because it's very innovative. Yeah. SableAssent has a team of people that are very well advanced. Yeah. At the same time, they're very down to earth, and that's very, very important, because you have to be able to communicate with everyone.
Absolutely.
And because it is international, we're going to be able to add with the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is going to make everything evenly across the board. So it's going to sort out a lot of information. It's going to use artificial intelligence as well, where people can be educated at different levels.
Absolutely,
Type of
Mr.
information,
AJ.
and it's going to be able to relate to you based on your knowledge.
Absolutely, I do agree with you.
Sorry,
Shout outs to our SableAssent team. Yep, I can hear you now. I was shouting out to our SableAssent wonderful team. I mean, they're excellent. They're innovators. They are hard workers. They are mission driven. And I want to give them a warm shout out. They're always here to support us. AJ, you are one of our team members. You're doing a wonderful job with helping us, spread the word. And I just want to hear your input on why you think that SableAssent is necessary for the world. As the last question, like, why is SableAssent important to you? Being that, SAC1, we had our launch, the Stablecoin is available right now, ladies and gentlemen, on www.latoken.com for everybody that's outside of the United States. If you're inside of the United States, you want to go to www.SableAssent.com, register your Black-owned business, and get ready for us to go on our American platform. So I just wanted to ask Mr. AJ, who has accomplished so much, who is, full of energy, vivacious, accomplished, like, why do you think that SableAssent is necessary in the world?
Well, because I understand Mr. Daryl Speaks. I understand his vision, and he being the founder, the CEO, I understand the vision, because what he's to put it in a nutshell, SableAssent is creating total independence.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is you now are going to be able to have total control of your assets, and you're going to be able to distribute your asset on a global stream without going through the institution of the banks.
Absolutely.
And that makes a huge difference. And at the same time, you're also going to be able to make money and be able to save money. You have control of your interests, all those little hidden fees.
Yes.
The blockchain is going to
I know we're a little frozen. Mr. AJ is in Tampa again, ladies and gentlemen. He's giving us the reason and the needs of SableAssent. He's letting us know that, it's going to be easier to transact amongst each other. As you know, we want to transact amongst Black businesses worldwide, not just locally. And so, it's very important. And I totally get your point. Are you back, Mr. AJ? Absolutely. But he was such a pleasure being here and having him. He taught us so much. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is here. It's here to stay. I want to have a quick ending for our important sponsors, because this show would not be possible without our sponsors. Now, when you are ready to scale your business worldwide, let worldwide business process outsourcing and call centers take your services to the next level. Okay. So again, worldwide business process outsourcing and call centers. They're going to do appointment settings. They're going to do scheduling. They're going to do emailing. They're going to do telemarketing for you, payment and processing and more. You can hire 1 to 500 of the people that's there at the outsourcing call centers. If you have any questions, please call 770-750-4707 to learn more about the business that you can have. These is located in Jamaica, so you have all Black workers, and that's what we want to have working for us now. We need to empower our communities, and in doing so as well. So I just want to thank our sponsors. Also, Miss Brittany Davenport for doing my hair. Trending MDE waterproof accessories, t-shirts coming soon. You will be seeing this. As you know, we always have a surprise and waiting for you. We are so grateful. My name is Marlena Evans. I am your host. I thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let AJ say goodbye. I just want to let you know to go to SableAssent's YouTube, hit subscribe, SableAssent Coin Corporation. Follow us on Instagram, SableAssent Coin. Please, we always like to keep you updated. That way you know what's going on. When is our podcast? Okay, the phone number for the call center. Somebody asked while I add on Mr. AJ here. The phone number for the call center is 770-750-4707. You're going to call that. If you call that number and you need any help or any questions, please feel free to message us and we will make sure we get you right through to them, Mr. Benjamin. Mr. AJ, just want to let you say goodbye to everyone and we appreciate your time. He tried to chime in, but if you have any questions, please feel free to leave the comments. Thank you so much. Same time next week. You know I am here to pick the brain so that we can be better people. My pleasure for helping you all. This is what we do. www.SableAssent.com. Register your Black-owned businesses completely free. If you want to know more about purchasing SAC1, go to www.latoken.com. SAC1 is for sale outside of the USA. We will have a USA exchange coming soon. Mr. AJ, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. I wanted you to say a warm goodbye. We appreciate you for chiming on in, sir. I appreciate your time. All right. God bless, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to thank you too, Marlena. I think you're doing, well, I'm going to say, Marlena, you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
Awesome job. You know, we're very fortunate to be able to have you as well.
No, namaste to you.
You to expand worldwide.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Hey, we have our radio show tomorrow. Did you have the number that everybody can call in? Tomorrow on our radio show, Thursday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern time. You all make sure you look out for that. Mr. AJ is the host. I mean, we are talking about everything you can think of that's going to improve our Black-owned businesses, that's going to help circulate the dollars, that's going to educate you about SableAssent. So we're excited. We're going to see you guys tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. on that show as well. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Yep, 6:00 tomorrow.
Let's do it.
7 p.m.
Eastern time. Bye-bye. Yeah. Thank you.